Okay, the current status is really simple. Currently, adversary can position any number of satellites arbitrarily close to our satellites, meaning that we cannot have warning they're close. Okay, so that's the problem. Now comes to the question, and also Henry's what Henry asked me to do. For Henry's China space walking, he asked me, why don't you assess, in a more quantitative way, how many Chinese satellites can they have, and what kind of satellites that they would want to attack us. Okay, so that deals with that question. So conclusion, so at that time, we did an assessment, and they can produce 200. Okay, we can talk more about why 200, but that's the number. So they can have 200, and Henry was looking at 2027 and 2029. So to be conservative, I say 2029. Okay, now at that time, I got a lot of statics saying that, they can never build it. So I try to be conservative. I say, let's assume China is behind us for 5 years. Okay, not 2, okay, but before 5 years. So, and then I do the calculation, 5 years behind us, and plus the time they take to develop these 200 satellites, how long would it take? It turns out to be 2029. Okay, so people don't believe it's 2029 too soon and so forth. And then bingo, in January 2022, they succeed in the docking. So that means their schedule is not 5 years behind us. It's only 2 years behind us. Okay, so I don't know advanced math, but I know that, hey, if that advanced 3 years, pretty much everything advanced 3 years. So from then on, I switched from 2029 to 2026. So what's the point? That means by 2026, China will have 200 of these armed spacecraft to attack us. Okay, so now we can answer the question. How do they use the 200? So that's Henry's question. So you can look at the number 1, missile early warning. Okay, now they don't have 2 dozen, but I count the spares and so forth. So let's make it 2 dozen to be conservative. And you and I know the early warning is the number 1 satellite pertaining to nuclear policy, pertaining to nuclear command control and communications. Okay, you say, well, that's not quite communication. Look at the next one. The next one is, now how come, okay. Yeah, the next one is communication for nuclear and as well as conventional force. There's about a dozen of them. Those are the so-called the AEHF. You can look it up, okay? But those are the satellites. When there's a nuclear war, when the environment is disrupted by nuclear weapons, then you need those for communication. Okay, now what is more important in nuclear policy than early warning so that we can, the op is coming, so we at least we can go for shelter and we can respond, because we got to have an effective response. Everybody knows if we don't have a response, then they will make the first attack. But if we go for penalty, then they say, oh, maybe I shouldn't do my first attack. So this is directly related to what Henry talks about and what nuclear policy is about, nuclear deterrence. So just those 2, we have to focus on it. But the other ones, they are not lesser, they're even more important in a certain sense, because hopefully we don't fight a nuclear war, at least we would certainly fight a conventional war, or even not fighting war for commercial purpose. What would that be? Would be the 3 dozen or so GPS. Okay, now that's another thing. People say, there are 32 of them, they would be very safe and so forth. So we wrote an op-ed saying that no, they may be resilient now, but by 2026 they ain't. And 2026 is only 3 or 4 years from now, people. Okay, and are we ready? No, we are not ready. So that's the problem. If you say, if we act now, can we do it? Yes, we can do it. So these are the key points. Okay, now if you add those 2 dozen, 1 dozen, 3 dozen, there's only 6 dozen. There's only 72. If they have 200 attackers, they can all autonomous. They can attack independently. Okay, and by the way, even if they go very slowly, we still have trouble because what we do, we just do proliferation. But these have not been proliferated in the 2020s and also we're in the 2030s. And this will be gone. There's nothing to defend them.